I have a story from the 4th of July.
Okay.
Just past one recent. So, I live in Queens, so there's not really great places to watch fireworks because, there aren't backyards or...
Yeah.
So, my friend, she lives on this block and it's like really wild. So they just set off fireworks
so wild.
in the street. And where we live, like, there's just never parking. So there's just cars lining the streets. Like, there's not really any spaces except for fire hydrants. Mm-hmm. So there's just cars everywhere. And they're just setting off fireworks in the middle of this busy street. And directly in front of her house was a fire hydrant. And they, opened the fire hydrant and just water is spurting everywhere. Mm-hmm. So we sit in front and we start watching. And one side, was doing fireworks well. Like, they were shooting them up into the sky.
Oh, no.
Okay. And, they were, these are, big fireworks, too. Like, the ones that,
That's terrifying that just people are doing this.
The ones that, shoot into the sky and they have sprinkle down, the big ones. The big, expensive ones. So they're setting those off. Now, the other side was not so great at setting off fireworks. And mind you, these people, they had Roman candles. And guess who was, using the Roman candles?
What is a Roman candle again?
Roman candle is they're tubes and they shoot fireworks out of it directly. I'm pretty sure
out of the tube.
It's like a tube and it's just a fountain of fire.
No, it shoots like a little tiny rocket that bursts.
Oh, so it's like...
So it's literally like a rocket.
It's like a tiny little firework that just shoots out.
Yeah, it has
I think that's the kind.
Or something,
yeah, if they explode inside the tube and you put it on your head like a Gaston did, then it'll blow your head off.
Oh, at Disneyland, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
The guy at Disneyland who plays Gaston fucking blew his head off.
I think it was Roman candle. I don't know.
When did that happen? I never heard
blew
about that.
his brainstem all over the kids at Disneyland.
No, it wasn't in Disneyland.
When did
I don't even know if that was a Roman. That was 2 years ago.
I never heard you. I never heard about
You never
that.
saw no one blows like Gaston?
What?
No one explodes like Gaston.
So anyway,
okay.
Oh my god!
You're not supposed to be shooting a Roman candle if you don't know what you're doing because
Makes sense.
It's dangerous. You could shoot it at somebody, which they were shooting it into the windows of the buildings.
Oh my god!
Were they Dubros or was it
they were children? 5 or 6.
I'm sorry, who gave children rockets?
I was
New Yorkers.
I was flipping out. These little kids, I'm tiny, babies, holding Roman candles, shooting them in the buildings. And I was just how is this? No, I don't think a single adult had a Roman candle. I mean, on one side of the street. On the other side of the street, there was
We'll buy some light fireworks for the kids.
There was some drunken people with Roman candles that were next to us, but we'll get back to them later. But there's children setting off Roman candles, shooting them around, shooting them over the roofs of buildings, shooting them into the windows, shooting them straight forward.
Into open windows?
No, they weren't open, thank God. Everyone was too smart for that. The ones that were...
Imagine playing PlayStation in your living room and a fucking rocket comes in your living room.
In any case,
I'm sorry.
I guess the adults were too busy to pay attention to the children because they were poorly setting off fireworks. And by poorly, I mean these big, giant fireworks that are supposed to be shot straight up into the sky, about 30% of the time didn't make it into the sky.
Oh my god.
They literally exploded on the ground into the cars surrounding it. A car was set on fire. It went out quickly, but there was explosions. Every time that happened, everybody ran and ducked behind the cars, just exploding. And this was not once. This was a huge percentage of the time, big enough that it happened 5 or 6 times. And one time it happened, all of these fireworks going off, the streets are smoking and chaos is everywhere.
People are ducking.
Somebody called the cops.
Bloodborne outside.
Somebody called the cops. And as the cop is coming down the street, the people that were setting off fireworks, because they weren't paying attention to what they were doing, they weren't paying attention to the fact that there was a cop coming down the opposite direction. So it's a one-way street. The cop was going down the other way. So to surprise them, They set off a firework and it exploded in the cars in front of the cops. It exploded. Everyone ducked behind, saw the cops, and the street was empty. God, everyone would just disappear. Like nobody was there. It was just me and my friends sitting.
Gone in a New York minute.
They were gone. And the cops get out. They just like have flashlights. They look at people and they walk down the street. Nothing. They didn't do shit. Like what? They did absolutely. They witnessed this explosion.
They didn't do anything?
They did absolutely nothing, and they left.
Oh my god!
And then 5 minutes later, right back at it.
So they waited for the cops to leave, and they were like, "Hold on,
Everybody
is it gone?
All right. The streets were filled again. Now, while this was happening, this is my favorite person of all. There was this little man with a big pregnant belly that was right on the house next to us
On the Queen Streets.
Yeah.
On the hot streets of Queens.
He was a little man, bald. He had no hair at all.
How tall was he?
He was probably
How tall was little
what
man?
does that mean?
The bald little man.
BLM, bald little man. How tall was BLM?
He was probably 5'5", I would say. He was only
If you're shorter than 5'5" right now, Diana thinks you're a little man.
Fuck you, Diana. I'm 5'1".
You are a little man.
Yay!
Casey is
I
a
am
bald little man.
I mean no disrespect because this man was an icon. He was
It was an American icon.
yes.
The 4th of July.
He made my night. He was the real show.
Oh.
He was
Oh, so all that was like prefacing this man.
Forget
This-
fireworks.
yes.
Forget the signing of the
I don't even
documents.
care.
Forget everything.
No,
we
it's
have
this
we have BLM.
man. Now he was
We have bald little man.
he was drinking. He had these fireworks. I don't even know what they were. They were the saddest things I've ever seen in my life. He would just throw them on the ground and 3 sparks would come out of them. like purple sparks. He would just go and then
purple
and
poppers?
he'd walk in a circle and he had this routine. He would go into the fire hydrant and he would just blast his butt. He'd blast his front area, his nether regions, and he would just walk around. And then he'd do this a couple of times, but then he'd come back and he'd be lathering himself up, lathering.
With soap?
Yeah, I don't know where the soap came from. He just suddenly was covered in suds and he was just lathering and lathering and lathering and lathering all over his body and his head and his head.
And his head, and his head, and his head.
The fire hydrant, and then he just washed himself off. And then he would come back, and then he had this bicycle that was very, very...
Wait, so every time he came back around, he had something else.
He was showering and riding his bicycle.
Go in a circle, and he'd have a firework. He would just blast his butt. He'd blast his area. He would lather himself up, and then the last thing he would do was he had this bicycle that was very low to the ground. And he would just start going around. He would go in a circle, go into the fire hydrant water. He'd blast in the bicycle. And then he would, get worked up. And he would do this magnificent, majestic, elegant, he would lay completely flat on the handlebars. His pregnant belly just between the seat and the bars, just
hanging
perfectly,
down.
no, perfectly, so straight and so smooth and so beautiful. And he would just glide down the street
like a swan,
like a majestic swan. It was so bizarrely beautiful.
Oh my god, he was gushy gliding right down
he
your
would just
block,
right past us in this this beautiful trick.
and he would lay face down.
Seamless.
So
it was face down.
Face down, so his belly would hang.
He would, I guess, use his head to steer straight as an arrow. No wobbling. Just
the American way, straight as an arrow.
Graceful and beautiful, and just shoot down the street. And then he'd come back, and then the cycle would start again. The fireworks, the lathering. And
Wait, so he lathered himself multiple times?
Oh, 6 or 7 times.
Oh my god, he was so dirty.
Oh my god.
These children, these teenagers, they come in and they start being loud and playing in the
Did he put a stop to them?
No.
Did he thwart them?
I'll tell you what happened. He went into all these teenagers, they went into the fire hydrant, were playing. For some reason, they were all, just getting their hair dripping wet. I don't know. That was the theme, was they had to, wet their hair and, whip it around. I yelled at one of them because
you've never been a teenager.
They had, it was girls, too. they had a what are those orange cones? What are they called?
Traffic cone?
Yes, a traffic cone.
Cone? Just cones? You said it in the description. I think if you said orange cone, I think everybody would know what you were talking about. They're called pylons, Diana.
They were putting the water in it, and they blasted me with the water, and I screamed, and that was the end of the teenagers. But before then,
It was like a horrible trumpet.
I was just like, what the fuck?
Diana was running on all fours.
They were getting too close to me, and I was at my wit's end. I had been like really hungover all day from the night before, and like
the 3rd of July.
they did not need to be that close to me. They could just stay by the fire hydrant in the street. They were like right next to me, and I wasn't having it. And I was letting them have their fun, but then once you blast me with the water, it's
over.
enough.
You're getting blasted back, baby.
I was about to say you should have blasted them back.
Yeah, I mean, I blasted
did.
them with my voice, and that was enough.
Boom!
But all of these teenagers in the fire hydrant just got him so excited. The lathery BLM.
Oh, they got BLM so excited?
Bald little man.
He got super stoked.
He
about
got
these.
so excited, and as soon as he saw them playing in that fire hydrant, he just got all lathered up. Just lathering and lathering and lathering.
Oh my
and lathering.
God.
And then as they're playing in there and playing with the fire hydrant, he just comes in and just starts washing himself off while they're like, what's happening? Like these teenagers, they're like, what? They were pointing at him, like, is he got soap?
Is this Godzilla right here in front of me?
And like that group left, and it was the second group of teenagers that I screamed at but he like, kept going in after the teenager. He was getting so excited, but he just had to lather himself up all the time. It was an experience that I've never had before. And
That's a lot to process.
It was a lot. It was honestly one of the best fireworks shows I've ever seen.
It was one of the best.
And it wasn't even the fireworks.
The firework was the side show.
Yeah.
The main attraction was BLM. His beautiful bouncing bicycle.
It's beautiful. It's a triple B.
Honestly,
BLM and his triple B. Bald little man.
Grace. That's the only way to describe it. You would not expect it, and yet
He never does the 4th of July in the same city more than once.
It was
a
an
one-time thing.
He graced
experience.
New York this year.
And you know what? I appreciated it, and that was.
Did you get an autograph?
I should have. I was just too. I was too shy because I was too in awe of him.
Oh.
That's a shame.